today is gonna be all about eating. I'm not gonna have like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm just gonna graze all day. I've pinned loads of places on my map, bakeries, restaurants. So I'm excited to fill up on pastries and I don't know what else. Potatoes, I think. Let's go. If you saw my last video, you'll know that this was my second day in Vilnius. And the day before, I had already tried two very delicious dishes: a sausage stuffed with mashed potato, which was crispy on the outside and so fluffy on the inside. Then I had cheese curd dumplings, served with a sauce that was perhaps a little bit too sweet for my liking, but the dumplings were rich and dense, almost like a salty, slightly heavier version of a gnocchi. I started my second day in Vilnius with an iced flat white from Taste Map Coffee Roasters in the new town of Vilnius, which was absolutely perfect on such a hot morning. Then I headed over to the bakery and my first spot that I had marked on my list. I've got a little tart with spinach and I think cheese. That seems to be a pretty common filling for like the vegetarian set. Not that I'm a vegetarian, but I don't know how particularly Lithuanian it is, but it's almost noon and I haven't eaten anything yet. But I'm 2 coffees deep, so I need a little something. Ooh, it's like, ooh, definitely cheese. That's really good. There's so many herbs on the top. It's very delicious. My plan is to kind of nibble all day, so I'll have maybe half of that. And then I really want to go on the hunt for the sort of, I'll put the name of them here. Kugeli. And they're like a pastry filled with meat. There's a particular place that lots of people have recommended that has a lot of really good reviews, so I'm gonna head there and try one of them. So I think, let's go. What I've got here is a kibenai. Did I say kugeli? I think that's something very different. This is a kibenai. That might be plural. I have just one kibenai. Kibenas. I'm sure someone will tell me. This one is filled with pork. There were so many choices. It's still hot. I've been walking around for like 10 minutes. Ooh, great. Proper pieces of pork in there. Like chunks. Like they've made a meatball, like a pork meatball with pork mince. It has onions. Does everything have potato in it? I think this has a little bit of potato in it. And it's like coated in its own juices. There's no sauce or anything in it, but it's pretty juicy. There's a lot of pastry on this, but I foresee a lot of kibenai in my future. Maybe really good. Next up on my culinary adventure, I headed to a restaurant that has a few locations around the country and that is known for having a large selection of traditional Lithuanian dishes. I started with kepta duona, or fried bread. It's topped with cheese and garlic, and it was crispy and piping hot. It was a little bit strange because they look like French fries, and then you take a bite and it's super crispy bread. Easily one of the best guilty pleasures, perhaps to exist in the world. Then I ordered a seppeline, a potato dumpling that was stuffed with pork and topped with what a lot of restaurants keep calling the traditional sauce, which is bacon, along with all of the bacon fat, mixed with sour cream. It's rich and decadent, and it makes the texture of the potato really unique, almost gelatinous. Feeling a little bit delicate after all of that like heavy, rich food yesterday. So I thought this morning I would start the day a little bit healthier. All of that stuff, mind, I bought it from like a convenience store, not really a grocery store. Cost €3.89. I got a kombucha, a sparkling water, a natural yogurt, a pear, and a banana. I mean, a kombucha in Mexico alone would cost me like about €3. So that's fascinating. There's one more thing that I want to try before I leave Vilnius today, and that is one of the donuts that are filled with curd. This cheese curd is everywhere. It was in my pastry yesterday with the spinach. It was in the dumplings that I had the day before. It's not like, I don't know, anything I've ever had before. I guess it's pretty popular in Canada, right, with poutine and I'm sure in other parts of the US and stuff, but it's not something that I've ever really come across. So it's been a bit of a delight. Like, it's not too salty, the texture is really good, it adds texture really well to these other things. So I'm really excited to try it in like a sweet thing. I believe that there's jam and curd in it. So yeah, we'll see what that's like. But first, a little bit of kombucha and some yogurt. This pastry was flaky and sweet and absolutely packed to the brim with creamy cheese curd. It wasn't too overly sweet, it had a lovely, almost sour flavor, and with that flaky, sweet pastry, it was the perfect accompaniment to a bitter espresso. Well, it wasn't the donut that I was looking for, but it was a cheese curd pastry, and it was so delicious. The cheese curd was obviously mixed with like some sort of cream. It was sour and sweet and like whipped up, and the pastry was so nice and flaky, so highly recommend it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely enjoyed trying all of these different foods. It was so good. Probably won't eat every Lithuanian food in the same day again. But yeah, if you have suggestions for other foods that I should try while I'm here, I would love to hear about it. Big fan of all the potatoes, everything comes with pickles and sauerkraut or pickled vegetables, and it's such a good balance with the fattier pork meat that seems to be prevalent in a lot of the dishes, and I've always been a big fan of potatoes, so definitely gonna be happy here, and plenty of beet soup to come in future videos as well. I ate a lot of that in the last week or so. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really supports my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.